Hey guys, it's Teatime here and welcome back to another speed build, specifically one of my single pack starter homes. This week we're doing spooky stuff. Oh boy. You can see me now starting to pull up basically every item to just get any idea of what I want to do. We are in, what's it called? I can never remember what this place is called. I know there's a hollow in there. It's from Vampire stuff. Vampire game pack, which I really love some of the items from actually, so we'll be doing an even better sort of version of this then, I suppose. But for spooky stuff, I wanted to keep it very simple. I wanted to make something that looked odd and appropriate to the area, but totally usable, and also, I guess, looking a little ratty and strange. I don't know who lives here. This is a very difficult pack, honestly, to work with, and I had trouble. So you can see all of these chairs have, it's like there's ratty cloths thrown over everything. And yes, so that was quite hard to work with. I started working with a lot of dark colors, but then I changed it up a little bit later, you will see, to some lighter colors, which looks a lot better in the end. Yes, a bit happier with what I end up with in the end, I believe, than now. I'm trying to make this window here work, but honestly having it darker does work in the end, and I do end up having to save a lot of money on lights, so it is a dark interior in a lot of ways, but it works. It actually works quite well, and I'm pretty happy with how the whole thing turns out, except I will say maybe the shape of the front of the build. I wasn't 100% on that, but I like the interior enough that I didn't want to redo it because I wasn't sure if I'd end up with anything similar, and you know, you can always extend it just a little bit if you want to as well. Yes, this lot is a little bit bigger than a normal starting lot I'd use as well, so I did give my sim an extra maybe 1,000 at the beginning, just to make it a bit more like if you were sticking it on a smaller, I think 20 by 30, 20 by 15, I can't remember how big the smallest one is. If you're sticking on one of those, it would, you know, be a starter home, definitely. But on this one, just a tiny bit more expensive. As you can see, one of the expenses is coming from this double story, which I thought was really appropriate. So I really wanted to make that work, almost having a little tower type thing. Suits the feel in the area quite well. It was a bit hard because I wasn't sure if I wanted to go for an almost comedic haunted house sort of look with spooky stuff, or if I wanted to keep it just dark. And in the end I go just dark, and I don't include some of the sort of really Halloweeny things, and I think that works better than I might have otherwise, and I'm glad I did that. Yeah, so it's doing a lot of roof work. I do change the shape of the roof in a second, as in I don't have it a concave in sort of what would you call it, a shape to the roof, but I push it out. You'll see just like in a moment I'm about to do it once I take this front, oh no, I'm putting a front bit on. I take that back off later because that's just a little bit more money that I didn't have to spend. Anyway, yeah, you can see what I'm doing with the roof. I think it looks better, but I do keep the bit on the tower, the roof on the tower, in a sort of little pointy inny pattern. Man, I need a better vocabulary, guys. I do have a thesaurus somewhere. It's a really, really big thesaurus, and I love it. I'm in love with it, but I don't get it out that often right now because I'm not writing at the moment. You have the whole internet, and I've got a giant book. Yeah, trust me to do that. I love it though. Yes, but we are going to make the room smaller here, as you can see. The tower gets smaller, and I think the whole thing looks a lot better because of this. Just suits the size of the house a bit better because, I mean, you can only go so big with a starter. I've seen some people make really interesting starters though that are basically just roofs. So they just use the roofing tool, and it's amazing. It's cool, and it definitely saves you money, but it's also a little bit annoying to play in, and I really wanted these to be usable, so yeah, maybe I'll do that as a challenge sometime and make it super luxurious with the furniture and the terrain, because the terrain's always a thing that goes downhill for me, especially because I don't want to do anything too complex, because it can be hard to maybe extend a house if you've done so much terrain work. It doesn't always work well, and yeah, I don't know, I prefer not to, but yes, a little balcony up the top's very cute. Maybe you could have stairs going up there at some point into another level. but right now this is how small the house is. I'm just playing with the windows now. I really like some of the rounded ones you'll see in a sec that I put in, but I do change it to just a simpler pane in the end, just because it does work better and it is cheaper as usual. Money is always a thing in these starter homes, and as much as I'd love to keep the more aesthetically pleasing look, I just can't, and I'm just not that good yet. I'm just not that good. Yeah, so there's a lot of playing around with this build, just because it was quite difficult to get this working for me, though I really do love this. Those bricks are base game, and they suit this really, really, really well, and you can see I have warmed it up as well with, yes, just some of the roofing now, changing to some natural browns. It really does bring this a bit to life, I think. It was a bit dull before that, a bit more in the vampire pack, I think, whereas this brings it into something else, and it does sort of help with pops of orange that you will get with, we're putting pumpkins in. Of course we're putting pumpkins in, just a couple of silly ones, just so you know which pack it's from. I'm trying to use the flooring, but it doesn't go with anything. It's... And you know, this pack annoys me, and it actually took me forever to get this pack, because I don't care about Halloween. I'm sorry if you do. It's, you know, each to their own, I guess. I'm Australian. We don't do it, and when people try and do it, they do not do it well, and so it's a bit of a why bother thing, and yeah. I've never done it, so I'm not attached to it in any way, and so this pack was never interesting to me. Costume party maybe, and some of the items maybe, but this was probably the last pack I purchased, and I purchased it to actually do this. And, you know, I'm glad I did, because there's some items I really do like, so I'm glad I've got them. But, yeah, there you go. It took me a while to get it. But I think it's because there's so many things not usable, like there's wallpaper that's just ghosts. And they're really awful, and spider webs, and the spider webs that are in this pack are really gross, and I don't like them, and there's a bunch of nicer ones from the vampire pack to actually make things look actually haunted or old, and I don't know, there's a sort of a comical feel to this pack, which is mixed with some other things that are not quite so, I don't know, I just don't think it really goes with itself in the end. So yes, I don't know, maybe I'm just too picky. Not much I can do really about that. We are just putting the kitchen in. It's more of a kitchenette, and there is no sink. You have to go to the bathroom to go to the sink, because this is a tiny room with a little table, because I wanted to use that table, so I thought it was important to try and put that in. But in the end, I do put a dishwasher in, so some of the budget actually goes to a dishwasher, so that kitchen's quite usable. With one bench space, you can actually use that properly, and your Sims won't need to go to the bathroom for that, even though there is no bench in the bathrooms. I don't know where they'd cook, honestly, which seems weird. I mean, you don't need a bench to cook in real life, but I don't know. Anyway, those brown tiles I did use in the bathroom and in the kitchen. I've never used them. I hate them, but they look so good in this build. I don't know why. Yeah. Anyway, you can see me, I was trying to put one of those paintings in. I do leave one painting, the one with the man and the woman, because I really wanted an art piece that was from the pack. It was like at least 1,200 simoleons though, so it was, it's a chunkier budget. When your house is like, what, 20,000, less than 20,000, maybe you're going 18,000 because you got to buy a plot of land. Having something that costs about 2,000 is ridiculous, right? You don't do that. But I guess maybe that was a treasured piece. It came with a house, I don't know. But I really wanted to put it in. That's what I mean. There's all these weird cheap plastic looking things, and then that item is like really expensive. And yet these side tables are all ratty and have holes in them. And I know, like I said, some of it's really meant to go for, I think, that haunted house feel. And it would be a lot more useful making a haunted house. But yeah, then there's items like that, and I just get confused. That picture is useful for this, what I end up doing with the build, but I don't know guys, I don't know, I'm on a rant. There's a reason why I didn't get this pack, and yet it is not my least favorite. I'd say luxury party stuff is my least favorite. That thing is completely useless. Does it have an event attached to it actually? Maybe dinner party? I don't know. so many of the stuff packs are like, what is this? And then there's others that are like, yes, yes, like laundry day stuff. Holy cow, that thing is amazing. Amazing, 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 amazing. If you want a stuff pack, get laundry day. Laundry day, perfect patio, backyard, romantic garden. Basically just not some of the ones I've already done. Here I'm trying to use that carpet again. Maybe as a front door, like a doormat. Nope, gave up pretty quick. But I'm using this sort of rusticy looking painted wall all around the house. I think it looks really good in the end. And yeah, I couldn't afford to actually put plants up there, which was, sad. But what can you do? On a budget. Yeah. So, put a fireplace in. I know it's a small area, but it's, I don't know, it was important to me to give it a bit of a cozy old vibe, and I think the fireplace kind of brought the living room together. So I'm not regretting that, not regretting it. So you can see I've actually changed some of the colours up. The furniture's a bit lighter. Some stuff in the kitchen obviously is still darker. But yes, I'm much happier with, I think, how this is going now. So we are putting things in the bathroom. You can see we're left with about a picture's worth of money. I swear that picture's ridiculous. It costs so much for this pack. Anyway, we are changing this up. I think the shower I end up actually putting in here is more expensive. So, yes, having a better shower straight up. Nicely done me. So that one, I just wanted something with the black on the bottom. I didn't want those white tiles. It ruined the aesthetic and I didn't like it and I wasn't happy with that. So I forced it with my will power and the power of my hand clicking a mouse to conform to my desires. I don't know, I'm talking absolute nonsense. Again, I'm always doing these voiceovers later at night when I'm like not at all with it and my daughter's falling asleep in the next room. Hopefully she's falling asleep and not listening to me. That would be the ideal thing anyway. But yes, so you can see I'm putting some of these little pumpkins around at the front, just trying to get a bit of terrain colouring in here to make it look a little bit, I don't know, a little bit like it belongs, I guess, and that it's actually a house that it's been sitting there. I do manage to get a few plants in, but I couldn't find a tree that actually went with this, so yeah, I wanted something a bit older and spookier, but there's none of those. How funny that this pack didn't have that either. But I do manage one bed of flowers and two of those little shrubby grass things, and that sort of gives the space a feel like it, it's not just a horrible old thing that's been plonked down on a completely flat, empty plot of land. It does look a bit like it belongs, although I would love to fill this thing up with trees. Absolutely love to fill this thing up with trees, put a dirty pond and a little shed out the back. But this is the budget we have and not much I can do. Anyway, we're just finishing up now, fixing the lights. Do let me know how you think we went, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!